Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Rao Kolusu coming to you with this room that will be continued several times uh, for them to know just how to calm your mind in the beginning of the day and the end of the day. So this is going to be ongoing affair as a service to my friends and followers here, and see that their day is really improved. Okay, it is simultaneously streamlined uh, on Clubhouse, Wisdom app, and also on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all that. Okay, so let's relax and enjoy this room and take away this simple exercise that I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to first tell a couple of sentences about me for those people who listen to this broadcast and who do not know me. My name is Rao Kolusu. I was trained in internal medicine and I practiced more than 40 years in United States, basically in Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, all these places, right? So after seeing so much of suffering in the country and understood patient experiences in a way that I cannot really refuse, I had to find answers for that. So I went about really what is wellness mean? How do generations of people maintain their wellness? What kind of things we can pick it up? That was my focus. Out of that, the fog end of my medical career, I established a company called BA which is a wellness optimizer and enhancement of inner resilience through diet, exercise, sleep, and calming the mind or meditation. You can stick so many levels, right? But this calming the mind is really a part of the wellness, and it was the key in how the ancients maintained their mental health, right? So that is one aspect of ancients, but also they had this feeling of unity, interconnectedness with other people and on the world. So that way they were able to manage very stable inner self, and not only that, they exploded because of that. You know, so in the modern age, because I did a master's in biomedical informatics apart from my MD degree in the informatics, my thesis was at the end of the course was uh, in information overload. What was going on with the information, how we are using it or not using it, or how we are becoming victim for the entire big time information overload, right? So when I looked at it, then there was so much of problems with the information going. We have a lot of things achieved with that. That's good. But the way we as human beings approach the information, approach the continuous occupation with information, that was the problem, right? And they work solutions to really work with all the information, but at the same time are not being affected by it. That was the point. It's not like a too overexposure and constant distractions, but really wanting to do what we want to do, really being intentional about our thought, our conscious thought. That I think yoga and Ayurveda and Chinese Taoism, they all explored inner stability, inner focus, inner attention, and all that. So these two reasons, wellness promotion and also information overload solution, this is why calming the mind on a daily basis, not allowing the mind to get caught in its own network of thought continuously, and then developing mental habits that are not good for us. They are not helping us to be in the present. So this exercise that I'm going to show you is an exercise in awareness, exercise of being here and now in this moment and doing whatever we do with complete attention. That's what we are going to do, right? So this is something very preliminary, very simple thing that I'm going to demonstrate to you how to do it, and then you can record it, and or you can absorb it and come back and do it yourself uh, as you go to your day. Okay, that is something I always wanted to convey to people. Some people get it because of my private uh, talks with them, and some people get it if they come and attend my sessions or my rooms. Also, I gave it to a couple of times, but this is the first time I'm really demonstrating it. I'm telling you all the requirements, all the things you have to do, and what are the possible benefits you will get out of it. A lot of people may not be here, but they do listen to these talks because they communicate with me later. That's why I know people are there who are listening to my talks. I usually don't have chance to advertise, but this one I took particular care to advertise and tell some people. Whether they make it or not, I'm going to make this as an offering, as a giving to the friends. So if you do this every day, hi Sanya, welcome. Every day in the morning and in the evening, you will be able to see the benefits for yourself. Okay, there is only the way the mind is functioning is understood, and there is awareness beyond the mind and the thoughts. That is what people want to understand. Okay, we all think we are only thoughts, but as a matter of fact, we are aware of our thought. That means what? There is an awareness beyond the thoughts. So that's what we're going to really indulge it today, and really include it and also recruit it to help us, okay, to be living in the present moment. So the reasons I explained to you: promotion of wellness, promotion of inner resilience, okay, and other reason I explained to you, the information overload is extraordinarily going much, much higher. With the chat GPT, there's so much information will be handled by the machine, which is a good thing, I think, provided when it is doing its mundane things, the time that is given to us, we can turn inward and calm our mind and discover treasures there. I'm telling you, there are treasures. There is a diamond. Just catch hold of that, then your outward troubles, outward concerns will go down much better, because you are in bliss. You are in ananda, they call it in Sanskrit, right? So, what is needed for this? I will come to the exercise a little later. After I gather, maybe a few more people will come, and then we can tell them. Otherwise, also we record it. Okay. So you always have to make your atmosphere, your place ready. So select a place, especially in the beginning if you are not used to it. If you are somebody who is meditating, who is doing all that, that's fine. But if you are not, very regular person, you don't know any of these things, just reserve some place where you are not bombarded with messages from outside, from the phone, from the devices, from television, from all of that. Okay, so maybe an enclosed place, preferably the same place you go every day, and preferably the same time. If not, at least you are doing it. Okay, select a place that is not having any external disturbances for you coming in from outside. Okay, that's one thing. And then select a chair or sit on the floor, whichever is convenient for you. Posture is important, right? Sit down. If you're sitting on the chair, put both your legs on the floor. The both feet are completely touching the floor. Toes, sole, and the heel are completely touching the floor. Okay, and then you will be watching your breath as it is. Don't say anything that this is bad, or if it is erratic, if it is too rapid, just want to pay attention how it is. Then be aware, close your eyes, be aware of how the breath is coming in and out of your nose and be aware of the touch the air makes at the alana, say we call it, the tip of the nose, making some touching sensation, right? Just be aware of the sensation. Just be aware of it. And then slowly increase the breath going inward and going outward. And then combine that with the movement of the abdomen. Notice when you're taking the deep breath in, the abdomen wall should be rising. And then diaphragm is going down, right? And then as you take the deep breath out, you will see abdominal wall going towards the spine, pushing the diaphragm to come out, right? That is what you want to observe. Then, after you are really like that, then you say, okay, I'm going to breathe in for 7 count and hold it for 4 count and then breathe out for 8 count. So that is the part of it. We'll do that. I'm just explaining to you all the steps. And the next step is after you seated down, you calmed your body and you kind of identified with your breath. You kind of noticed it. You want to do this way the breath. Okay. You're going to tie your mind to the breath. That means you are really attentive to the breath. Your attention is on the breath. And then after you have really tied your mind to the breath, do that for several times, and then it will be going up and down the abdomen, and breath is in and out. And then you are aligned your mind, your thoughts with your breath. Then you see any thought may come up, may something about office, something about a bill, something about a relationship, something will come up, right? If a thought comes up, don't fight it, don't indulge in it. Let the thought come through you and observe that like you're observing is a cloud in the sky. Let it come up, look at it, and let it go. That means you be the witness. You don't want to be indulger or you don't want to be resistor. None of it. Just a witness. That witness, that is the consciousness, that is the awareness. Okay, you want to be in that and watching the thoughts. Let them come at least for this 5-10 minutes. Okay, if they go and they kind of take their own career, the thought, then bring it back again to your central breath, to the nose, to the tip of the nose. That's how you come back to the center of, even if it goes there. Don't be worried about it. Don't think bad, anything. Just bring it. This is the practice, right? You bring it back to the center. And then you can add one other element. That element is when you're taking the deep breath, ask a question, who am I? Then you know I am that awareness witness. Then when you are breathing out, you are letting it go what you are not. What you are not, just you are not just the body or mind consciousness. You let it out. Okay. This is the exercise. Go on doing it for 15 minutes in the morning and then take up any of the duties. And then when you cultivated this presence in the morning, carry that like a perfume through the day. And then at the end of the day, you can do that again. But carry the presence through the day means every 1 hour, take 1 minute break. And in that 1 minute break, do this deep breathing and bring yourself back to, you have traveled in the intellectual world or thought world a long time ago. Bring it back. Bring it back to the breath, bring it back to presence. Be aware of the presence that you have done. When you are doing it in the morning, it is easy for you to carry it through the day. And if you cannot do it, several times you fail, that's okay. Be practice. Use visuals like suppose you are in front of a red light, then do the breathing. Suppose you are in the meeting, you don't have to talk, but you just have to listen, go back to your breathing, and then stabilize your mind and then listen. This is what I do. I kind of be in that present meditativeness through the day. Even while I'm doing stuff. For example, now I'm giving you a purposeful lecture. My intention is to give this technique and do with my friends and be here every day so that people can pick it up on this. And then if I have any problems, they can call me, they can send me messages to my YouTube channel, Rao Kolusu, on LinkedIn or Clubhouse, any number of ways you can reach. Direct messages are there too. So these are all the venues that you can reach me too. Okay. Now we are going to do this exercise just briefly, and then if people have any questions, people are there on the Wisdom app, they can come up. If anybody comes up on the Clubhouse, we will invite them too. Okay, so let us ready ourselves. So we're going to, first thing is the posture. So sit. The important thing is keeping the spine straight. Okay, and then the back is straight and the neck is straight too. And now keep both your feet on the floor firmly planted, and now close your eyes and close your mouth. I'll be talking, but you close your mouth and let the air come in through the nose. As the breathe air through the nose, let the abdomen raise up, and then let the air come out slowly through the nose and abdominal wall going towards the spine. Okay, that is the way we do the breathing. Okay, let's do it full breaths for 8 of them. Okay, as you are doing them, make sure that you are doing 7 count inhalation, hold it for 4 count, and let it go for 8 counts. Okay, and make sure the abdominal wall raising and going down. Okay, and as you are doing this, you close your eyes. Thoughts may come, don't indulge in them, don't resist them, and then you can do the final part. I will come back and say how we identify with our witness consciousness and let go the feeling of I am the body mind complex, let it go. Okay, let's start. 5 breaths. Now, keep breathing like that. As you breathe, feel the air at the nose. As you breathe in, you feel the touch. As you breathe out, you feel the touch of the air going out of your nose. And keep it parked there. That is tying the mind to the breath. And then, if by chance something should come up as a thought, as an emotion, whatever, be witness of that. Let it be like a sky in the cloud. Don't indulge, don't resist. Just watch it and let it come, rise up, and go down. That way, you establish yourself in the awareness. 5 more breaths here now. This time, really focusing on tying the mind to the breath and being the witness. And as witness, as the presence, or as the awareness, you are watching the thoughts. Now, the last five breaths, we're going to, as you inhale, we're asking the question, who am I really? And then identify this awareness, which is aware of the thoughts, is me. And when you breathe out, I'm not this body mind complex. I'm not just this body mind complex, but they are my instruments. So I'm the real awareness. That's what you want to, what is called mananam. That means repetition in yourself. Okay. Let's do five more breaths with that kind of feeling. Okay. Now slowly open your eyes, take your time, and come back to the now. This is the way you want to establish yourself in the presence in the morning and come back home from whatever worldly duties you have. You have fulfilled them at the end of the day. Finish it off with this exercise and establish yourself again in the presence, in that awareness. Then you will be able to have the benefits of calmness, serene, and non reactiveness, and focused, and also really having the feeling of joy of whatever you are doing. You know, it won't happen right away. So you got to really first have to learn to sit for a while, learn to breathe correctly, and learn to understand to be in the present, not allowing the run of thoughts going, mental diarrhea. Don't have that. If you do this daily, two times a day for about 40 days, you will see the results for yourself. But it has to be sincere effort, every day done, always in the same atmosphere, or near same atmosphere, same time, if you can do it. Do this as a practice, and when you are doing this, follow all the principles. Okay. Being in the present, being in the awareness, observing the thoughts, and breathing correctly, having alignment with the mind and the breath at the same time. And if you are really fit enough, you will be able to sit on the floor or on the chair without any movement in the body and without any movement in the mind after a while. Okay. Hopefully, you will all do it. I will come every day at the same time, 7 o'clock my time, Eastern time. That will be after my evening wellness club class is over. I'll be here at 7, and I will do this with people, and I will welcome questions or comments or any observations. You can mail me in my channels. Subscribe to my channel YouTube, which is Rao Kolusu, and you'll be able to see much more of my videos if you want to. Okay. So that is the brief exercise that I wanted everybody to do it in this modern age of information overload, so that you will be quiet and calm even while you are facing difficulties in life. Okay, that's what happens to me. I am kind of quiet and calm because of the situations are maybe very trying, but they are only seen as objective evidence there. and I won't be influenced in a reactive emotional way by them, so that I don't waste my energy, but I will put all my energy in doing something about that problem. Okay, that way you resolve things, and then you also mentally will not have this secretion of stress hormones. So that way you will be really healthy. Anyway, this is a simple exercise. There's so much philosophy, so much explanation, so much neuroscience behind it. So you have to understand the network of thought, you have to understand your reactionary mode, you have to understand your emotional intelligence. So many things are there. But we are not here to judge anybody. We are here to give them a technique. Science of spirituality is like exploded in the East, but the technology of this inwardness and all that is in the yoga. So yoga is really, you have to practice, and you also have to develop a dispassion about a lot of things that we are addicted to in the modern life. So with that, I welcome anybody's question. My friend Sonia is here. We will start with her. Hi, Sonia.
Hi, Dr. Rao.
How was it?
Great. The course put me in a mellow mood now.
Yeah, yeah. This is going to be a daily thing. I will be doing this so that people can come and participate and share their or any questions as they go into the practice. I want to help them to understand this. Okay, so tell me about any problems, anything that you have experienced.
Yeah, no, for me, like doing that is the starting of our breathing,
Yeah.
right? When you did the
Yeah.
stick, and I love it, the calming, and of course, my friend there, so friend Nasli coming in too.
Yeah.
So welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I invited her. Hi, Nasli. How are you?
Hello, Dr. Rao, Sonia, and everyone. I'm great. I'm very thankful for your rooms.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to ask you was about my dreams are very vivid.
Mm.
And so vivid like the real world that I take them. I get
Yeah.
the dream, but it takes my mental energy.
Yeah.
So my question is from you is how to not take my dream.
Yeah. Actually, this exercise can be a starting point for you, Nazli, in the morning. And I also tell people take a 1 minute break every hour, and also be attentive to whatever you are doing. You know, usually dreams are because we are thinking something, doing something, and we leave some remnant of thought, and that has to be resolved with the mind. That's why during the sleep, the mind or brain tries to put this thing in order. So practice this exercise in the morning when you get up, okay? And then you can go on about your work, but while you're doing work, don't do so many things at a time. Concentrate on one thing at a time. You know, attentive to every task. That is my mantra. Attention to every task, every action. Attention to every action, something like that. You can write it down and put it in front of you, so that you will get back into the habit of being attentive whatever you're doing. Just do that. Don't worry about the dreams and all. Just do that. And then you will see at the end of the day, you do this exercise again. When you slip into the sleep, you won't have that much of intense dreams, but it takes some time. It won't. There are other things you can do too before sleep. You can do kind of a good exercise, or good relax and a stretching exercise, not aerobic exercise. Yoga has some specific exercise you can do, and I can show you. If you come to my wellness club, I can show you those before sleep mild stretching yoga that relaxes you and your mind also, and then you can go to sleep much better. So start with the exercise, be attentive all day, and at the end of the day do this too. It doesn't take much time. Once you get the hang of it, 5 to 15 minutes is enough, but a lot of people can't even sit 5 minutes. But if they start with a 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, that's why I want to come here every day so that people can come back to it and report to me what the good results or what the difficulties they have. Then we can attend to them. So it's not like a 1 day service. This has to be there for a while so that people will know this is something like this is available to us, and we don't take any drugs or any prescriptions, and we can just understand our thinking. And like Sonia, when she comes to the wellness club, I don't give all the information to her at a time. I encourage her to ask questions, and then when she is ready, she will ask the right question, and then that will be appropriate for her. Otherwise it becomes just a story, or just my own saying things, but she will not get it. So when you are ready for these things, the body and mind also will respond. So initially what you do is you do this exercise either in the beginning of the day or just after you exercise your regular, whatever you walk or run or whatever you do. And after that you just before taking the shower you can do this, and then go to and take a shower, and then go to the day, pay attention to everything, and at the end of the day again repeat. And it's like a bucket. We are filling water in the morning, and then you empty it in the evening. Okay, in the morning it is empty because of this exercise, and during the day while you are in the life doing our duties and all that, our relationship, all that, we really fill up the bucket, and at the end of the day empty the bucket and go to sleep and see what happens to you. Clear, Nazli?
Amazing, thank you.
Yeah.
I have two more questions. One
Yeah.
is, if you use mudras on a daily basis,
Yeah.
the hand gestures.
Yeah, very, very good. Because the mudras are like the electricity, the energy that you have within you kind of takes a circuit. So that's a very good thing. But then mudras are advanced, and mudras are to be done according to the evolving energy within you, your emotional, your mental, your spiritual energy. So just by doing that, your nervous system will be stabilized. That itself is very good. But after that you have to know which mudra to do for what. That is where the science is. And I can teach you simple mudras. But one mudra I will teach you right now is I'm also on the YouTube and all these channels too, but I will describe what you do. You kind of take your right hand, you put your index finger on the thumb, the tip of the index finger on the tip of the thumb, and the rest of the three fingers will be straight. And then put that on your knees or thighs, whichever it is, like that. And then that is the same on the left hand too. If you do both of them and keep the index finger and thumb pressing each other, and then keep it like that, that is the dhyana mudra, that is meditation mudra. Things happen much faster if you can maintain this through the. I did not mention this because I didn't want any esoteric, any thing that people don't really know about. Not that they are not good or they are not important, but I don't want to rush in too much. All that I wanted to address there is this running mind, this chattering mind, this mental diarrhea we have in the modern life. We can really identify what it is, and then don't want to be a victim of that compulsive thinking. We want to keep our thinking in our hand. That's why this simple exercise I told you. But mudras are very good too, Najli. If you want personal direction about them, you can always consult me, or you can come to our wellness club, or you can communicate with me in whichever way it is possible for you. Okay?
Thank you so much. And the third question is, what to do if we have broken hearts and
Yeah.
we are hurting and
Yeah.
we suffer from sadness?
Yeah.
How to heal the broken heart?
Yeah, that's also, is it like this thinking we built up over the lifetime? These hurts and all of that are to take root in our being, and they are to be expressed, to be understood, to be empathetic about it. Because as human beings, we don't understand, life may be continued after death also. That kind of thing is there. But then this is real. you really are hurting, you really having a lot of pain, and they take their own road as long as you kind of go on repeating them unconsciously. But in this moment, that did not happen, right? If we say something like that, it sounds harsh, but actual real fact is it has happened, and our mind is reacting emotionally to a past event. It's not here. So what you want to do is you want to bring yourself here and now and say, is that here, there, or not? Then you see that is a compulsive emotion that is repeating on itself and getting stronger by itself. That's why when you don't really come back to the present, you're always reinforcing that pain that has happened and passed too. But we keep it alive by remembering it. So you want to come back to the present. That's the only thing you want to, because that is the only life you have now. Whatever happened has gone. Whatever is going to happen is not it here. But here and now is real life. That is what we want to live fully. So if you practice being in the present and also accepting life is happening, those things, hurts, and also pleasures and all of that, then usually this is what's called raga dvesha. That means opposite of pleasure and pain, right? These are all opposites of the same coin. That is, the coin is the life. It happens that, it happens that way. So you accept that like that, this is life, then the reaction will be much less. And also attachments, also you have to examine them slowly. So it is not going to go away just like that. But in this moment, that is not there. So you are reacting to a memory, or you are reacting to a future projection. So by definition, they are not real. They are only happening in the mind. So once you understand that, they will go down. There is other thing too. As you acquire understanding of the life, as you understand what is death, what is emotional pain, and all of that, you will be away from them towards your true, joyful, present moment awareness. Once you discover that, it's not that you're going to brush off all the pain that you had. No, you understand. By understanding, you transcend. So, like a small kid, he is not aware of something in the beginning, right? But as his understanding goes, he may forego some toys and all of that, which he held very dear, because he has found other things, greater joys and all like that. There is an inner joy, tap into it, and then all these outward joys and also sorrows will not have their significance. It takes time. Don't you don't have to compare yourself to anybody, or you don't say those people are great or nothing. Takes some time. It's a question of how you think, how you approach pain and emotional pain and all of that. Okay, you can be a loving self. You can be learning something from the emotional experience and give the positivity that you learned from that bad experience of the emotional pain to other people. That's what I do. So I kind of, in the blissful self, I don't want to come and talk to anybody, anything, but I just want to share. And by sharing, I kind of feel very, very fulfilled, because I feel like I have shared something that is valuable to somebody. No need to expect anything. Just sharing itself is good, because you yourself are fulfilled and really joyful within yourself. This is what the ancient rishis taught me. The happiness is inside you. The fulfillment is inside you. Once you touch that, then you go and help the world or work for the world. Make any sense what I said?
Absolutely. You're the real doctor. You have the answer.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And so what I understand for myself right now is like a blissful, gentle mood that goes for experiencing the life peacefully.
Here and now.
I don't see that strong like drive that is like in 30 years old in the 30s of like if a young man has like a sexual drive as that be a force for me in my 40s as a woman that doesn't have a child. Am I right? Yeah. Or should I look for any particular force in myself?
No, just be aware of whatever is going on within you, and that will show you what is happened and all that. If you don't make it a habit, especially unconscious habit, then you can see what's going on, and then that negativity will transform into positive. For example, you are getting angry. If you indulge in anger, it will reinforce itself, it will have more. If you want to suppress it, then it will become probably illness for you. But if you think, me getting angry, I'm not going to hurt the other person, which I want to do by hurt them, but actually the anger is hurting me. That insight, that understanding should happen within you. Then when the anger comes up, you will see it separately. You will be the witness consciousness of the anger, and the anger is really happening, but you don't have the same punch like it was when you are unconscious about it. So all you have to do is come back to your conscious being, here and now. Life is here and now. Come back to that, and then see what happens. When you see whatever it is for what it will transform itself.
I'm very thankful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Come daily as much as possible and do this with me till it becomes a habit for you, till something that you could do by yourself, and it becomes a second nature for you. Okay. There is no conversion to any particular religion or anything like that. This is understand. I can go on explaining neuroscientifically and also mechanism of thought and hormones and all of those if you want to. But then I wanted this hour to be just for the exercise of this. For next time, I may not explain so much because this can be watched by in the replays other people. I may explain a little bit what I'm going to do, and we will do the exercise and we'll finish up. Probably I'll put some music and all that. That will be relaxing for people to get into it. And later on, we may take it out, and then people can do it silently, and then they go home. Right, Sanya? How is the plan?
Sounds great, Dr. Rao.
Yeah.
Until you tell that to Nasli too, I didn't realize that's what happening to me.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting to see the summary of what we've done the past year, right?
Yeah.
Because in terms of like not only the awareness of the emotion, when you again feel that strong emotion, then you can kind of take that deep breath and step back and kind of then decide what to do, right?
Exactly. Tell them the three principles, Sanya, that I always talk about. 3 principles in our wellness club in the morning.
Be present. Yeah. That one is one that's
no, be present and
deep
breathe. Deep breathe. Deep breathe.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then do the asanas, both sides of the body. So these 3 principles we repeat every day. At least she is doing them with me. Even if she doesn't remember, she is doing them with me. So what happens is all these things build up because you are forced to. If you remember, I don't talk much like this in that practice. I say this is a doing thing, it's a practice thing, right? So I make them be in the present. This 1 hour is an exercise in awareness. That's what I say, right? Remember? Then you are forced to be in the present and really do the asanas properly and align it with the mind and also with the breath. Then what happens? Your body's tensions will go down. Your mind's tensions will go down. You are in your real self in the present. That's why when you go out, you're already activated your parasympathetic nervous system with a deep breathing and being in the present. So your reactivity to outside events will go down. That's the aim of the practice too. Telling people not to react, but to respond. So if you react, then review them in the evening, and doing daily like that, you will be able to identify more and more, deeper and deeper into your own self, and you are the only one who is removing them. So you are standing on your own, you are doing things on your own.
Yeah. it's also beautiful. I came out from a broken relationship as well, right?
Yeah.
And I understand what Natalie was talking about, and of course, what you're saying in terms of like being eventually you'll realize and understand that was the illusion, and that in this way, I am so grateful for what happened, right?
Yeah.
And because I so much understand.
Yeah.
Not only myself, but also the things around me,
Yeah.
and the things that, that I want in my life in many ways, right?
Yeah.
And of course, and the things that I'm going to be doing that's going to also affect my life because of how I feel inside, right?
Yeah. Sanya, I'll give you an exercise. Uh, just imagine this in your mind as I'm doing this, okay? Imagine you're in a Chinese garden, okay, and there is a kid sitting by the lake in that garden, and feeling awesome lonely because his parents died, and he's lonesome, sad, and sitting there with a shrunken face. His teacher comes along and says, he asks him, what are you doing, why are you sad, he will ask him. And that kid says, my parents died, so their memories and everything really make me feel like lonely. I don't have anybody. Then he asks, can you hear that bird flying with the wings wrapping? He says, yeah, I can hear. Can you hear that the fish swimming in the lake? Yeah, I can hear. Can you see the beetle on the side of the lake? Yeah. Can you see the swaying trees? There is so much life around you. You are not taking care of that. That's why you feel lonely. So you are in your own mind thinking that I am alone, but you are in the middle of so much life. And when you are connected to the life, then this is why the ancient said, when you realize yourself, go and help others. Okay? That way you can really, you may not be suffering, but you won't say, I don't have any suffering, I will relax. And that's not it. You go and share it. And that way, that suffering is seen completely different by the child's mind. And he was able to realize, not he was taught, he was able to realize by, hey, I was not in the present. I was going in my memories and all of that. I was wallowing in my own aloneness. Actually, I'm not alone. I just lonely is different than aloneness. Lonely is when you feel you are cut off from everything. Aloneness is when you are realizing I'm in the middle of all one energy, all one life. Then you are abundant. Like I feel abundant because I'm connected to the nature, I'm connected to the people and everybody. Right?
Yeah. That is not really beautiful. The one thing that I feel like I go to the ocean often, right, to watch the sunrise or the sunset, right?
Yeah.
And that that takes me there when you describe those things, right?
Yeah.
I can see everything.
Yeah.
And quite like vivid, right? And it's beautiful now that you tune in, especially you talk about the beetles and the lakes and all of these things. It's just like you're right. It's everything is alive around you.
Yeah.
And here we are, I'm mulling in my mind, and that is now an illusion because it's when we're in that present where everything is.
And it's just that like, is the purpose of this exercise is that mind that got used to be in the past and the mind that's projected into the future can generate all sorts of regrets from the past, all sorts of anxieties for the what may be the future, but really missing the life which is here and now. So come back to the life, be in it, and then face whatever it is with renewed energy within you. That thought that is saved from the past and from the future, it's not that you cannot learn from the past. It's not that you cannot plan for the future, but your attention, your energy should be focused on the here and now. That's where you are connected with the life. You are connected with whatever is going on. But when you are really in your head, that's what they say, they just stuck in their head, then you're missing the life. Meditation purpose is this, just to get to the present moment. But then once you touch it, that diamond I'm talking about, that inner self, there are so many other levels, 7 levels of happiness that were there. That's all. People may study, people may want to read. But the first important thing is, how am I facing my daily life? How am I using the knowledge, the data that is there to do external things? How am not allowing that to make me be a slave to the compulsive thinking and thereby hurting my mind? So these exercises are needed, just like we take shower for the body. You got to take a cleansing act for the mind. It's better if you do in the morning, just before sunrise or into the sunrise, and at the dusk time, because they are conducive for the mental activity to go down. But people, how the modern life has become, they don't wake up in the morning because they sleep very late, and also in the evening they again have nightlife. That may not be conducive if you are doing every day, and that agitated is on it, and you get on it, and then you are in it all day, and then you again in the evening you do the work. That is what you're not interested. But if you are engaged in something really meaningful work for you from morning till evening, you won't get tired at all. Even if you have done a lot of it, you won't tire, because what is important is attend to your attention, attend to being into the movement of whatever you're doing. That is important. That is not happening because we are living in our mind, in our memories, in our projections. So this exercise is for all modern men who are doing all this chat GPTs and all. I have done a lot of it this morning, all the chat GPT induced work, and I have done so much work in one day. Like I used to do 3 months, one day is done. So this is a blessing in disguise for us, because we can do our duties, our responsibilities, improvement of society, or whatever we are doing with the advanced technology that is coming up. But then what are you going to do with your mind when you have all this leisure time? That's why I felt this is very important for people to cultivate this. Like, I'm an informatician, right? I deal with the data. I deal with so many talks and all that. But then how do I keep myself cleansing all that as it happens? That is important. For the beginners, this maybe there are advanced meditators here that can do very easily. Just every moment they are in mindfulness and they are meditative. That is the aim, but I don't want to force things on that. Let us take whoever is whatever it is. This is a simple, basic exercise. It has to be done daily or as frequently as possible, and it has to be done sincerely, following all the steps. And then once you get into the beginning of it, and then you will be advancing by yourself, then you'll get more and more in there. Then if they have questions and all that, they can always approach me. I will tell them whatever I know, whatever I'm living. That's what I tell them. That's what I tell you, Sanya. If you ask me whatever I'm living, I'll tell you. So
yeah, that's awesome. So I'm very grateful for like what we've done in the past year, and definitely like for me it's been a big change, not only in my way of looking at things,
yeah,
and that opens up my eyes to a lot of things in terms of like changing my perception
yeah,
and how I look at life, and not only just my life but the life around me, right?
exactly.
And yeah, and I talked to you about how I had so much in terms of the addiction to like coffee. I know there's a lot of people that does that, and where I used to work, right? Because coffee is one of those mandatory things to get your day going. But now, just like the next day, I could just like, not at all take coffee, and I'm just like, I don't have that withdrawal symptoms like I used to when I tried to quit coffee. And that was like quite fascinating for me. I was just like so grateful for that part. I'm like, I don't have to buy coffees now.
I mean, it's a question of mental habits. Do we need to have mental habits? I think one person came to this sage and asked him, "Sir, how do you get rid of mental habits?" Then he said, "Well, you have to realize you are not that mind, but you are that deeper awareness beyond the mind. You realize that then this mind will not be going according to its own habits, you know. But how do I self-realize?" Then he said, then you have to stop the mental habits. Then he said, "You are saying that to this to that, which is first, you know?" Then he said, "Who is that asking question? Is your inner self is asking question, or is your superficial mind asking question?" So it is the training of the mind that we need to look at. Yoga is really for the mind. Body has to be healthy and able to sit down and do this inner exercise. That's why young people are supposed to be more fit than the old people, because old people weak in the body, and also they have already formed so many mental habits. That is the problem. Okay, so there's a science behind it, how these thinking roots happen, and these roots are going on their own. This is a neuroplasticity that was called samskara formation in yoga, you know. So there is a lot of science now that we understand how our mind works, how our thought works, how our mental habits are there. All you have to do is you get to really understand and practice this. It is very easy to delete something from the computer with this one, but it's not that easy to get rid of our mental habits. So that's where these exercises help us very much. Not being rooted in a religion or anything, which they can do what they want, but you don't have to. Now we are intelligent enough, scientific enough to discover all these mental habit formations, and we not be at the slave of them or at the behest of them, at the command of the compulsive thinking. That is where this exercise helps you to get rid of your compulsive thinking. Ashish is here. Hi, Ashish. Welcome.
Hello, Dr. Rao. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. How are you? Did you catch the exercise?
Pardon?
We did exercise in the beginning of the class. Did you do that?
No, I was not here.
Okay, then you got to go and listen to the replay. Then you'll understand what we are talking about. You know, I'm going to be here every day anyway, so don't worry.
Doctor, I have to say a couple of words.
Yeah.
About so see, we eat every day, right? We walk every day. We have the body that is doing in the same fashion every day. We brush our teeth almost same every day, right? I think similarly, the mind also forms a habit in terms of thinking, because mind can think, and it forms the habit of thinking actually, right? And maybe those are you were calling mental habits. So by being aware actually, right, what habits you have formed, right, then that awareness will help you, I guess, to get rid of some mental habits. Do you have some more insight on it, sir? Doctor?
That's what I was talking about. We gave a whole exercise explanation for it, why when should do it and all. Okay, what it is try to be in the present, not at your compulsive thinking, which is past or future, but here and now with awareness, using thought as instrument. That is the crux of this whole class. I will be here every day, 7 to 8. In another 8 minutes, we'll be closing. But this exercise helps people who want to not to be bothered by their own chatter in their mind, by their own mental habits, and they want to live in the present, they want to live in joy. This kind of exercise will be very helpful. Everybody has to do it. The thing is, each person differs according to their conditioning, their whatever they accumulated in their lives or previous lives. Here, all those things are there. But those are all theories. What I see is what is present is the life for me. And how can I be in the present and then deal with life as it comes to me? So it has to have a different kind of awareness than awareness of just the thoughts and then not doing anything about it. But functioning in awareness is something, is a blessing. is something everybody can enjoy their pleasures and all those things, but also realize they are fragments. For example, you go to something like a beautiful garden, and then you are in the garden and you are looking at a flower, and then your thought takes you to comparison of some other flower you have seen someday in the past. Then you're really missing out the moment of appreciating that flower, being with that. This is something of a important yogic practice called pratyahara. That means whatever the impulses are coming, even that also you are aware of it, and then you may not allow them to form what's called a modification of the mind, which is called vrittis. When all those modifications of the mind, even with allowing the stimuli from outside coming in, that is yoga chitta vritti nirodha. That means all those modifications are stopped. Then the mind will be stillness, and at that time you are really aware of your true self. So yoga is for the mind, the whole preparation of the body, the energies with the breath, the sense withdrawal, the focus, the meditation, and finally the stillness. Once you touch the stillness, then you will see I'm just mentally chattering, or I'm allowing this chatter to continue. I don't do anything, and it is reinforcing on itself, and finally it becomes a mental diarrhea. Anyway, that is about time. Sanya, it will be daily here, so I would appreciate you come as much as possible, because you know what I do, and then I feel comfortable when you are here too. So thanks everybody for joining me, and I'll be seeing you again tomorrow at 7 o'clock Central Time. Okay. Thanks, Sanya, Ashish, and yeah.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah. Sanya, you were going to ask something?
No, I was just on every day, then I will try to come as much as possible.
Yeah, just to do the exercise and see what the effects are. And then I want to follow up on the progress of people who are embarked on this, or who are maybe like Ashish may want to listen to it and come back to it. So we want to be here for all their questions and comments or criticisms or whatever, and then we will try to help. That's the idea, not for anything else, so that's what I want to do. Okay. Thank you, and I'll be seeing you again tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks. Everybody on the wisdom, anybody wants to come up, I can talk to you briefly if anybody has. I'm closing the other channels and